Hello, today we'll delve into the stories of the Cambridge Five, spies who left a significant mark on world history, operating both in intelligence and on the field, risking their lives for the organizations or countries they served. Yes, you heard right. This is a spy story. At that time, there was a major conflict between communism and capitalism. While the Soviet Union was contemplating how to benefit from this struggle, it took a bold step. They decided to recruit intelligence officers from young communists abroad. For this, they approached students from Cambridge University, one of the most prestigious institutions in England. These individuals were British, but inclined toward communist ideology. These men became known as the infamous Cambridge Five. But what's truly fascinating is that while they were working within British intelligence, they were secretly providing information to the Soviet intelligence services. Yes, it's confusing, so let me explain. These young men lived and worked within British intelligence while secretly feeding information to the Soviets. Coming from wealthy families, they lived comfortable lives, but they were searching for something different, something exciting. Let's start with the first of the five, Kim Philby. He carried out major espionage operations not only in England, but also in Istanbul. His mission in Turkey was to smuggle British spies through to Georgia and into Russia. However, as soon as these agents arrived in Russia, they began to be executed. Philby had hidden his true identity so well that he was even knighted by the Queen of England. He worked as a journalist for many years, slowly climbed the ranks, and eventually found himself in British intelligence. The British government intentionally sent him abroad to report on government-aligned stories, allowing him to build contacts with top officials, information he secretly shared with the Soviets. He was so skilled at concealing his role that even the Americans requested a British trainer to help improve their intelligence services. The UK sent Philby as the best man for the job. However, suspicions began to grow, and he was removed from duty for 2 years, only to be reinstated later. That shows how well he masked his true identity. Another key figure was Anthony Blunt, who held a high-ranking position in British domestic intelligence. Even as a child, he had founded a Masonic society. While at Cambridge, he created Soviet-backed propaganda films. Despite undergoing several investigations and surveillance during his career, he was never caught until the very end. Donald Maclean was another member of the Five, working in the Foreign Office, especially focused on American affairs. He portrayed himself as extremely hardworking, often staying late to cover for colleagues, not out of goodwill, but to gain access to classified information. After fleeing to Russia, he was awarded the Order of the Red Banner. Guy Burgess, another important figure in the Foreign Office, was openly homosexual, which he used to his advantage. At one point, he worked as a financial analyst for the Rothschilds and was even a close friend of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The final member to be exposed was John Cairncross, so late in fact, that by the time he was discovered, he was serving as an art advisor to the Queen. He had worked in the government code and cipher school, involved in deciphering secret German communications during World War II. So, how were they exposed? Donald Maclean was the first to be identified. He quickly decided to defect to the USSR. Guy Burgess organized the escape and had planned to return to his post afterward, but changed his mind at the last minute and fled as well. This, in turn, placed Kim Philby in a difficult position, since Burgess had been his roommate. A small mistake marked the beginning of the end for the Five. Once in Russia, Kim Philby was awarded one of the Soviet Union's highest honors, the Order of Lenin. These five were branded traitors by Britain, but hailed as heroes by the Soviet Union. Let's conclude with a quote from Kim Philby himself. "Once you've chosen your side, once and for all, only history can tell whether it was the right or wrong path."